Virgo, hello there, my friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I'm in the season spirit once again. As I'm sure you can see, you get to have your cards read by a big old lamb this week. So let's get it going right away. We're going to start you with a couple of oracle cards. All the earth signs get the lamb. Everyone else gets a different one though. So let's see what's going on here for the beautiful Virgo collective in early October, please. And yeah, we're going to start you with a couple of oracle cards here. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'm going to pull you a bonus spread with the Starseed Oracle just to see what it is you need to hear from the universe. So there are many things for you to think about and consider. Only take what hits. You know how it goes. Let's get a couple of these out for Virgo. What's going on with my friends, please? My guides and spirit team. Yeah, the deck is being specific already, which I like. I like when the cards get specific. And we have emotional or energetic connections showing up front and center. Interesting. All right, second one came out super quick, and we have assistance in some way, shape, or form. Now, before we fully dive into this, if you're new here, I'm going to be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end. You might want to check that out. It's an interesting one this month. Now, into this reading we go. Both of these cards are not usually common. They don't show up a lot for different people. But you see this man and woman. They're both looking at each other. There's obviously distance implied here. So we could take this at face value. But generally, when I see this card, I think of someone's energetic connections and energetic cords. It's my personal belief that when we form relationships with people, whether it is friendship, family, romance, there's an energetic bond that is connecting the two. So in this time, you might need to do some work in regards to what you're connected to, what you're giving energy to, what you're receiving energy from. That's at the forefront when this card pops out. Who and what you're connected to. Now, in the second card, we have the helping hands, which I like this card. To me, it is one of spiritual protection for sure. You see the imagery there, the hands, the woman sleeping. So it could talk about sleep states and things like that. But the main vibe this always gives me is of assistance. So whether that is spirit moving you down a very specific path and assisting you, this could be somebody approaching you asking for help. This could be you needing assistance. And there's nothing wrong with needing a little help sometimes. But that's the main vibe we're picking up here in the front. Let's get into tarot now. We're not going to speak on that stuff too much. It's just a little energy check we got going on. Let's shuffle it up one time. We'll get you 3 in the upright, then we'll intuitively clarify as always. So what's going on with Virgo, please, for guides? And yeah, that doesn't make or break the reading. We'll see how it all ties together. Now, last week's reading was titled An Unexpected Message. The week before that was a powerful revelation. Pardon me. So there's been a lot of sudden energy or things coming out of nowhere, whether it's something you putting the pieces together and clicking in your mind, whether it's incidents that come out of nowhere. So we'll see if that energy is kind of starting to solidify this week. You know, it's always shifting and changing. So let's get these cards out. I don't want to speak on last week's readings too much. There we go. All right, the 6 of Pentacles, that's good. And something I've been noticing with all the signs is there's a plethora of earthy energy in this week's readings for like every sign. Let's get one more. Thank you. 2 of Wands. There could be some planning going on, whether that's from you or somebody you're tied to. We're going to get one more though. Hopefully it's nothing bad or nefarious. Okay, we have the 8 of Swords here taking up the back end. Somebody might be experiencing a little anxiety. Somebody might be stressing a little bit. So we'll talk about this. Obviously, that doesn't sink the reading in any way. You know I'm an optimistic lamb. So we're going to go through, I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes before we get the juicier intuitive stuff. In position number 1, very positive type of vibe. The 6 of Pentacles is giving. It's something you're wanting to give your energy to, or somebody wanting to give their energy to you. So as we were speaking about energetic connections, it's kind of showing up here with the 6 of Pentacles. This is very Libra-like energy to me because of the scales. It's a card of equality. It's a card of balance. Things really starting to balance out. To me, it's also a card of gift giving, whether it's giving or receiving gifts. You might be in that mode to either spoil someone or be spoiled when this shows up in the energy. But we'll see what it's about. There could just be something or a situation you're wanting to give your energy to, literally. Moving to the center, we got the 2 of Wands. All 2s in tarot could represent crossroads, forks in the road, decisions, weighing options, and with the scales right next to it, you could be in that mode for sure. But this one out of all of them is plan-based to me. a little bit of strategy. So you might be planning your future out. This could be somebody making plans towards you. So we'll have to see what this could be all about when we clarify it. I don't want to speak on it too much just yet. Now, moving to the back end of the spread, we have the Eight of Swords, the anxiety, the stressing. Someone's mind might be going a little bit. This could also be an energy of somebody feeling a little trapped, like their hands are tied in some kind of way. You might be feeling cornered, right? Cabin fever is another thing that shows up with this card. A lot of you might be feeling some cabin fever effects. But the main thing I always think is just someone's mind getting ahead of them, like thinking themselves into the ground, literally. So we'll see what clarifies this. I'm not saying this is you. It could just be someone in your energy when we're talking about all those energetic connections. So we'll see what stress and anxiety that's about. We're going to dive deeper now. We're going to jump in and clarify. We're going to shuffle it up one time, my beautiful Virgo friends. See what we got going on here. Shuffle it up. What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research, rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. We're going to go in on this Six of Pentacles. And yeah, that's why this box is here as well. If you read cards, if you interpret them, please share any musings or messages that you feel down below with everybody else. Let's see what's up with this Six of Pentacles. I always like to give that little caveat. I don't mind. I promise. Okay. Someone's being extremely patient here. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and that doesn't feel bad to me. Now, sure, some of you could be having some issues with a fire sign. That could be a point-blank, simple type of message. So you might be clashing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. Aside from that, though, with the patience and the giving energy of the Six of Pentacles, with this Knight showing up in reverse, this is someone being very, very particular about what they're putting their energy into. And I'd say that's a positive thing. There's nothing wrong with being a patient individual. There's nothing wrong with being picky about what or who you give your energy to. That's the vibe I'm catching here. Okay. Now, of course, it could mean other things, but that's just what I'm feeling. Hopefully it's not an unbalanced type of situation with a fire sign, but the main thing it's making me feel is that of patience, that of pickiness as well. So we're going to keep moving. I'm not going to crowbar in any messages there. If you feel anything from it, please share. So let's see what's going on with this Two of Wands, though. There's an underlying fire in this spread, which is a good and a bad thing sometimes. So let's see what's up with this Two of Wands. What is this plan-based energy about for Virgo? Yeah, temperance, taking that time. Slow and meticulous. And I'm already feeling this, like with temperance, that's Sagittarius vibes. So if you're tied to the Sagittarius, if you're going through situations with a Saggy, it's showing up here double. But the slow, steady, meticulous, patience-driven type of energy, taking time to make a plan, taking time to decide what to do and where to go, and all of those things. This is extremely slow. Now, with the Eight of Swords on the back end, this could be causing somebody else a lot of stress. Okay, if there's a lack of movement, if there's a lot of pickiness and patience going on, there could be somebody else attached to the situation that's just like stressing it and nervous and having anxiety over it when we see it here on the back end. But once again, I'm going to say there's nothing wrong about taking your time. There's nothing wrong about trying to plot a proper plan and move forward in an organized fashion. That's what I'm seeing here. So if you need to take your time, it's all good. This could even be your person, depending on who's watching this. You know how it goes with cross watchers. But temperance under the Two of Wands, very meticulous, detail-oriented type of planning could be going on. All right, so we're going to see what's up with this Eight of Swords. Then I'll give you a quick recap. I feel like the message is very, very clear. Now, if that's not something you're going through, all this patience and this meticulous type of energy, the universe could be asking you to get in that mode. Okay, like slow it down a notch, take your time. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's see what's up here with this Eight of Swords for Virgo. This is a unique type of reading this week. We have the Five of Wands, which has been showing up for other earth signs. The conflicted. This is someone you might be tied to that has a very, very conflicted mind or a conflicted mind state. When we have the Eight of Swords with the Five of Wands in the upright, the back and forth, this is someone who might have a lot of difficulty controlling their thoughts. Completely different energy on this end than what we have going on in the first two sections of the spread. So This is somebody that is nervous, straight up. This is somebody that is stressing and that has anxiety. It's showing up front and center in this spread. So we have one energy, one person that's in cool, calm, collected, patience, take your time mode. Another one that's just frantic. This is almost a frantic type of vibe. Now, hopefully this isn't a progression where someone or something brings you out of your patience into a frantic state. But I'm not going to speak and blab on it too much. This is just the energy that's showing up. So beware of that. All right? Don't let your mind run away from you in the coming days and weeks. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little recap here before we get into the bonus spread. Very interesting this week, Virgo. And if you kindly look down in this box in position number 1, we have the beautiful giving equal type of energy of the Six of Pentacles clarified by the Knight of Wands in reverse. If you're tied to a fire sign or a Sagittarius, this is showing up. Hopefully you're not having too much conflict there. But if not, this is an energy of someone slowing things down, being very picky, very choosy about what they're putting their energy into, okay? Whether that is work, business, school, romance, personal relationships like friends and family. This is someone being very, very meticulous about how they spend their energy. Moving over to the Two of Wands with Temperance in the upright. Once again, that energy of patience, that energy of pickiness, spiritual in nature as well. So the spiritual protection is still showing up, but someone making those plans, like ironclad, meticulous plans. Now, if you're not in that patient mode, as I already said, the universe could be asking you to get into that mode. Like, listen, you really need to take your time. You really need to plan out all the little minute details. On the back end, we have the Eight of Swords with the Five of Wands. All of that patience, all of this slow, meticulous energy could be driving somebody up the wall. I'm catching an energy of somebody that's a little frantic mentally, not emotionally conflicted, but more mentally conflicted, like the mind running, anxiety, nervousness, stress. So in this time, recognize that. If you're overthinking things, if you're thinking things into the ground, take a breath, take a step back. It's all good. And that's what we have going on this week. Let's get into your bonus. Please take a screenshot if you'd like to look into that a little further. Okay. Definitely a switch up from the last few weeks for Virgo, that's for sure. I wouldn't say that's a negative reading by any means. We're going to see what you need to hear from the universe. I love to end every reading with these oracle cards. It's a nice capstone. So let's see what Virgo needs to hear, please. Gods, talk to me in early October. What does Virgo need to hear? The deck is being specific. There we go. We have Star Brothers. So the energy of assistance is showing up once again. And we have perspective. I like it. So we're going to talk about these briefly one at a time. And when I see Star Brothers, that's another thing I think of is assistance, somebody that you can rely on. Once again, the close personal, interpersonal relationships showing up here with Star Brother. The spiritual protection as well. I like this energy. So it could be Spirit watching over you. Spirit has your back. Spirit is guiding you. If you don't want to take that route, it could be about asking for assistance if you need it. Okay, just like the helping hands we had in the very beginning of the reading. Or somebody asking for your help. The literal message says Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Those are the pillars that most relationships, whether romantic or otherwise, should be built on. So this is a beautiful type of energy. Now, perspective to me is very simple. It talks about whatever we're going through, whether good, bad, or indifferent. It's always nice to pull yourself out of your own perspective and try to see something through other people's eyes. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you're dealing with issues and problems, if you take yourself out of it and just look at it objectively, you could come up with a lot of ideas and solutions. And that's what this card is asking us to do. Be mindful of other people's points of view. Be mindful of other people's perspectives and opinions, because everyone has one. All right, the literal meaning of this card says, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. I don't believe that none of this matters. I say it every time this card comes up. I believe we've come here for a very specific purpose and mission to gather experience and knowledge. So do with all this what you will, my friends. I'd say overall this was an okay reading this week. That's what I have for you. But don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. For the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful, spooky Bonefire Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are because you love having your cards read by a lamb. Second, let me know down in the comments if you've ever had a supernatural or paranormal experience, yes or no, and please feel free to share because I like reading them. At the end of the month, I'll pick 2 winners at random and announce it in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.